Niihau is the westernmost and seventh largest of the inhabited Hawaiian Islands in the U.S. state of Hawaiʻi, lying 17.5 miles southwest of Kauaʻi across the Kaulakahi Channel and having an area of 69.5 square miles. Several intermittent playa lakes provide wetland habitats for the Hawaiian coot, the black-winged stilt, and the Hawaiian duck. The island is designated as critical habitat for Brighamia insignis, an endemic and endangered species of Hawaiian lobelioid. The United States Census Bureau defines Niihau and the neighboring island and state seabird sanctuary of Lefua as Census Tract 410 of Kauaʻi County, Hawaii. Its 2000 census population was 160, its 2010 census population was 170. Elizabeth Sinclair purchased Niihau in 1864 from the Kingdom of Hawaii and private ownership passed on to her descendants, the Robinson family. During World War II, the island was the site of the Niihau incident. A Japanese Navy fighter pilot crashed on the island and terrorized its residents for a week after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The people of Niihau are known for their gem-like lapupu craftsmanship and speak Hawaiian as a primary language. The island is generally off-limits to all but relatives of the island's owners, U.S. Navy personnel, government officials and invited guests, giving it the nickname the Forbidden Isle. Beginning in 1987, a limited number of supervised activity tours and hunting safaris have opened to tourists. The island is currently managed by brothers Bruce Robinson and Keith Robinson. Geography. Niihau is located about 18 miles west of Kauaʻi, and the tiny, uninhabited island of Lefua lies 0.7 miles north of Niihau. Niihau's dimensions are 6.2 miles by 18.6 miles. The maximum elevation is 1,280 feet. The island is about 4.9 million years old, making it geologically younger than the 5-million-year-old neighboring island of Kauaʻi to the northeast. Niihau consists of one extinct volcano that had a large landslide to the east. Climate. The island is relatively arid because it lies in the rain shadow of Kauaʻi, and lacks the elevation needed to catch significant amounts of trade wind rainfall. Niihau therefore depends for its rain on winter Kona storms, when more northerly weather systems intrude into the region. As such, the island is subject to long periods of drought. Historical droughts on Niihau have been recorded several times, one in 1792 by Captain James Cook's former junior officer, George Vancouver, who had been told that the people of Niihau had abandoned the island because of a severe drought and had moved to Kauaʻi to escape famine. Flora and fauna. As an arid island, Niihau was barren of trees for centuries. Captain James Cook reported it treeless in 1778. Aubrey Robinson, grandfather of current owners Bruce Robinson and Keith Robinson, planted 10,000 trees per year during much of his ownership of the island. Robinson's afforestation efforts increased rainfall in the dry climate. Island co-owner Keith Robinson, a noted conservationist, preserved and documented many of Niihau's natural plant resources. The island is designated as a critical habitat for the Polihale, an endemic and endangered species of Hawaiian lobelioid. Aylmer robinsoni, a Pritchardia palm tree named for Keith Robinson's uncle Aylmer Robinson, is an endangered species native to Niihau. Several bird species thrive on Niihau. Intermittent playa lakes on the island provide wetland habitats for the alaikeoko, the ao, and the koura maoli. The critically endangered Hawaiian monkey monk seal is found in high numbers on Niihau's shores. Robinson states that Niihau's secluded shoreline offers them a safe haven from habitat encroachments. According to Robinson, conditions there are better than the government refuges of the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. When the Robinsons originally purchased Niihau, no monk seals were present, because they lived in the northwestern part of the Hawaiian island chain, Necker and Midway Islands. They have been relocated to the main Hawaiian island chain by NOAA fisheries over the past 30 years, and some have found homes on Niihau. Big game herds, imported from stock on Molokai Ranch in recent years, roam Niihau's forests and flatlands. Eland and aoudad are abundant, along with oryxes, wild boars and feral sheep. These big game herds provide income from hunting, safari tourism. History. Prior to the unification of the Kingdom of Hawaii under Kamehameha I, Niihau was ruled by the Ali. Kaheleilani was the first of the Niihau Ali. His name is now used to refer to the Niihau Kaheleilani, the puka shell of the war turbans used to make exquisite Niihau shell jewelry. Kaʻiokulani was a ruler of northern Niihau who unified the island after defeating his rival, a chief named Kauaʻi. A stone wall across a quarter of the island's southern end marked the boundaries of the two chiefs. Kaʻio's land was identified by black stones and Kauaʻi's by white stones. Eventually, a great battle took place, known as Pali Kamakawi. Kaʻio's two brothers from the island of Maui, Kaiana and his half-brother Kahekili II, the king of Maui, fought for Kaʻio, and Niihau was united under his rule. Kauaʻi was banished to the south end of the island and Kaʻio moved to the middle of the island to govern. Kaʻio married the queen Kamakahili, and a future king of Niihau and Kauaʻi named Kauaʻi was born in 1790. Kauaʻi and Niihau are said to have carried the highest bloodlines in the Hawaiian Islands. Kamehameha managed to unify all of the islands by 1795, except for Kauaʻi and Niihau. Two attempts to conquer those islands had failed, and Kamehameha lost many men. Bodies covered the beaches on Kauaʻi's eastern shores. Finally, in 1810, Kamehameha amassed a great fleet, and Kauaʻi, the last independent ali, surrendered rather than risk further bloodshed. Independence again became feasible after Kamehameha's death in 1819, but was put down when Kamehameha's widow Kahumanu kidnapped Kauaʻi and forced him to marry her. Thereafter Niihau remained part of the unified Kingdom of Hawaii. Elizabeth McHutchison Sinclair purchased Niihau and parts of Kauaʻi from Kamehameha V in 1864 for $10,000 in gold. Sinclair chose Niihau over other options, including Waikiki and Pearl Harbor. By around 1875, Niihau's population consisted of about 350 native Hawaiians, with 20,000 sheep. This era marked the end of the art of Hawaiian mat weaving made famous by the people of Niihau. Makalo, a native sedge, used to grow on the edges of Niihau's three intermittent lakes. The stems were harvested and used to weave mona. Makalo, considered the finest sleeping mats in Polynesia. The mats were valued by ali and foreign visitors alike, but by the end of the 19th century, Hawaiians had stopped weaving makalo due to changes in population, culture, economics, and the environment. In 1915, Sinclair's grandson Aubrey Robinson closed the island to most visitors. Even relatives of the inhabitants could visit only by special permission. Upon Aubrey's death in 1939, the island passed to his son Aylmer, and in 1968 to Aylmer's youngest brother Lester. Upon Lester's wife Helen's death, the island passed to his sons Bruce Robinson and Keith Robinson, the current co-owners. Niihau played a small role during the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. In what has come to be called the Niihau incident, a Japanese pilot whose Zero had been hit crash-landed on the island hoping to rendezvous with a rescue submarine. The pilot escaped with the assistance of local Japanese residents, but was later recaptured and killed. It was the subject of a popular song, "You Can't Conquer Niihau, Know-How." Despite its self-imposed isolation, Niihau has a long-standing relationship with the U.S. military dating from 1924. There is a small Navy installation on the island. No military personnel are permanently stationed there, but the U.S. military has used the island for training special operations units, which included hiring Hawaiians who live on Niihau as enemy trackers. Society. Politics. The island of Niihau was considered as a possible location for the United Nations headquarters in 1944 by Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt had visited Hawaii in 1934. Under Cordell Hull, Roosevelt's Secretary of State, the State Department seriously studied the proposal. In 2004, President George W. Bush received all but one of the 40 votes cast on the island. The remaining vote was cast for Green Party nominee David Cobb. 51 registered voters did not cast ballots. In 2006, Dana Carter received 33 votes in the 2006 Senate election to Cynthia Thielen's 3. In 2008, Niihau's precinct was one of only 3 of Hawaii's 538 precincts to vote for John McCain over Barack Obama. McCain received 35 votes, Obama received 4, and Cynthia McKinney received 1. Population. Niihau has approximately 130 permanent inhabitants, nearly all of whom are native Hawaiians who live in the island's main settlement of Kauaʻi. Some support themselves largely by subsistence fishing and farming, while others depend on welfare. All residents live rent-free, and meat is free. Niihau has no telephone services and no paved roads. Horses are the main form of transportation. Bicycles are also used. There are no power lines. Solar power provides all electricity. There is no plumbing or running water on the island. Water comes from rainwater catchment. The Robinson family established most of these conditions. There is no hotel or general store. Barges deliver groceries from Kauaʻi are often purchased by relatives, with free shipping. Residents generally speak the Niihau dialect of Hawaiian as the first language, in part encouraged by terms in the original purchase contract which obligated the new owners to help preserve Hawaiian culture and tradition. The Niihau dialect differs from modern Hawaiian in that, for example, under the most common realizations of the phonemes K and L, Niihau is the only island where Hawaiian is spoken as a primary language. Linguistic evidence and oral tradition maintain that the Niihau dialect is closer to the Hawaiian register spoken during the time of discovery. English is the second language. Some residents have radio and television sets, although limited reception effectively limits the latter to watching VHS tapes and DVDs. Niihau is subject to regular droughts that occasionally force the population to evacuate to Kauaʻi temporarily, until rainfall replenishes the water supply. Residents commonly also commute to Kauaʻi for work, medical care, or school, and many of them call both islands home. To avoid a long boat ride, the island's owners maintain an Augusta A109 helicopter for emergencies and for transporting Navy contractors and residents to and from Kauaʻi. Helicopter tours and safaris help offset the costs of this service. A form of IPU art is known to have developed solely on the island of Niihau. In this method, after a design is carved in the skin of a fresh good, it is filled with dye which, after several weeks, changes the color of the uncarved portions of the surface where the skin is intact. Hawaiian music plays a central role on the island, with the cappella singers making use of only 2 or 3 tones and changing rhythms. Ukulele and guitar playing is nearly ubiquitous among the islanders, and there are 3 separate styles of slack key music, with an older style originating from Polihale. Education. The Hawaii Department of Education operates the Niihau School, a K-12 school. Academic subjects and computer literacy are combined with teaching students to thrive from the land. The school is powered entirely by solar power. The number of students varies from 25 to 50 since families often travel between Niihau and Kauaʻi. School children may stay with relatives in West Kauaʻi, where they attend one of 2 Niihau-focused public charter schools. At the Kula Niihau Kekaha school, students speak primarily the Niihau dialect through the early elementary grades, and then Hawaiian and English through grade 12. The school has a digital recording and video system, which helps to preserve and teach traditional Niihau and Hawaiian culture. At the other West Kauaʻi school, Kula Supuni Niihau Kahele Lani Aloha, English is used in all grades, while still supporting the Niihau dialect. Both schools foster the culture, values, and spirituality of Niihau. Economy. Approximately 80% of Niihau's income comes from a small Navy installation atop 1,300-foot high cliffs. Remote-controlled tracking devices are used for testing and training with Kauaʻi's Pacific Missile Range facility. Modern missile defense tests are conducted at the site for the U.S. and its allies. The installation brings in millions of dollars a year, and provides the island with a stable economic base without the complexity of tourism or industrial development. The sale of shells and shell jewelry is an additional source of income. Its beaches are known for their pupu, tiny shells that wash onto shore during winter months. Species used for shell lace includes momi, laiki, rice shells, and kahelelani. The shells and jewelry are so popular that Governor Linda Lingle signed a bill in 2004 to protect Pupuo Niihau from counterfeiting. A single, intricate Niihau shell lei can sell for thousands of dollars. Many residents of Niihau were once employees of Niihau Ranch, farming cattle and sheep until the Robinsons shut down the operation in 1999. It had not been profitable for most of the 20th century. Honey cultivation was also no longer viable by 1999. Kauaʻi charcoal was once a large-scale export, but aggressive Mexican price competition ended that as well. Mullet farming has been popular on Niihau, with ponds and lakes stocked with baby mullet, which reach 9 to 10 pounds apiece before being harvested and sold on Kauaʻi no Oahu. Bruce Robinson, Niihau's co-owner, is seeking and considering new forms of non-invasive income generation, depending on feasibility, impact, and ecological footprint on the ecosystem and culture. Possibilities include JP8 generation by the lignocellulose process, military, including a possible runway, and windmill energy production. Robinson has declined offers to purchase sand from Niihau's beaches because of adverse environmental effects. Tourism. Niihau's owners have offered half-day helicopter and beach tours of the island since 1987, although contact with residents is avoided and no accommodations exist. Since 1992, hunting safaris provide income via tourists who pay to visit the island to hunt eland, aoudad, and oryx, as well as wild sheep and boars. Any meat the hunters do not take with them is given to the village. Sinclair Robinson family tree.